Sacramento County's District Attorney Anne Marie Schubert joins us live tonight on KCRA to talk a little bit more about the case, of course, the investigation and the impact on our community. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
I know you held a press conference today, and one of the things that really stood out is that you and your office have been the target of these protests.
We have.
We're looking at live pictures right now, people gathered in front of your office as we speak. It seems as it's been a daily thing. Do you think you're being unfairly targeted?
Oh, it's like I said today, I understand protesting. I get it. I think people, there's a lot of anger and frustration. I wouldn't necessarily say unfairly, but as I said today, we don't even have the case yet. So I support protests. These are not peaceful at all.
When you say not peaceful,
well,
what do you mean?
What we've seen in the last week or so is people disrupting our own employees, as well as victims and witnesses and people that are just trying to go in and out of our building to get to court or whatever it is. And so people can't leave. They're surrounding cars. They're taking pictures. They're screaming at them. They're getting on cars. Some of these are not even Sacramento DA employees. They're people that just happen to work in a building nearby. And so they're having to call 911 to be able to leave. And that, in my mind, is not peaceful.
Not peaceful. It's a tough spot, right? Because you have a group of people who are really upset. They want something to be done. You're also, business as usual,
right.
Going over other cases. And again, to be clear, you've not received this case. So where do you kind of draw the line?
Well, we're never going to stop doing our job, which is to the business of criminal justice is going to go on. Crime, unfortunately, is being committed. We have a responsibility to prosecute in the appropriate cases. There's victims out there. There's individuals that are accused. We have to do our jobs. But is it disruptive? Yeah. It's disruptive. We're not going to stop our jobs. But again, I would ask folks, even though I understand the anger and frustration, this should be peaceful. That's the way we move forward, not by what's happening, at least that I've seen, and screaming at people, screaming at officers. I don't want to say half the things that I've heard, but egging people on to try to get them to hit them. It's not peaceful.
Some of your biggest critics have been the folks with Black Lives Matter, and we've spoken a bunch to the founder, Tanya Faison. She had this question for you. I want you to listen and respond on the other side.
Okay.
I just found out we've had about 22 people that have died at the hands of law enforcement in Sacramento since she's been in her position, and there hasn't been one conviction or one charge filed. So I would just want to know, what makes her think that we would trust her in this moment?
I think it's important to understand, I understand the frustration, and I've said this all along, is that I was elected to do a job, and I took an oath 28 years ago to do that job, which is to follow the facts and the law. Whatever the facts are that are presented, whatever the law is, whether we agree with it or not. I think it's important to note that we have prosecuted police officers. I think I may have mentioned that here before. So we're going to do our job. I understand the frustration. I think if you look across, whether it's other counties, other states, there's frustration in other places because we have an obligation to follow those laws and those facts. And so that's what we're going to do.
Talk a little bit about, when you mentioned today, you said that you don't have the case yet. You
right.
wait for the police department to finish this investigation, and then they kind of run their own investigation on their own people. Does that seem fair? Do you think that may be another reason why there's some mistrust?
Sure, I think that's understandable. I talked about that today at the press conference, that I think that those are valid questions. In this particular case, the Attorney General has brought in investigators to kind of do a side-by-side. I think that helps build community trust. Do I think there's room for conversations? Absolutely. But like I said today, this is the system that we have right now. Mm-hmm. I mentioned today earlier that in 2011, before I was elected, we stopped doing those. The DA's office doesn't have a legal obligation to review these, but they stopped in 2011 because of budget cuts. But I felt very strongly that we should be doing them because of public trust and the importance to justice. And so we reinstated those in 2015. But I think that moving forward, even though this case is very tragic, that we're going to have a lot of conversations, not just here in Sacramento, but across the state, on is there a better model that we can develop to get to that conclusion that is fair, full, and independent, as well as allow the community to trust the outcome.
Would that include maybe interviewing the officers involved? I know that was something else you mentioned in your press conference, is there's this independent team that essentially watches right. some of these interviews, that goes to the scene and looks at evidence, but that there's not an actual interview on your staff of these officers. Why not?
Our role is to monitor and watch it independently if they feel the need, and I don't know about this particular case, but in any given officer involved, if they feel the need, they can ask follow-up questions or ask the investigators to ask those questions. So if there's something missing, we can do that. So I do believe that that role is being played, but it doesn't mean that we can't have more conversations about, is there a better way to do this? I understand that.
One last point, it's going to take a while. You don't have the case yet. The protesters are out there day after day. Is there something you want to say to them other than the safety issue in that this could go on for a really long time?
Well, one is that, you know, we don't have the case. It will take time. This is a homicide investigation, and I'm not going to be pressured into making a decision. I understand the frustration and the anger and the grief, but everyone in our society is entitled to due process, whoever that is, and we're going to follow that rule. That's the way it should be.
Okay. Well, keep us updated, of course, so let us know when you'll receive the case. We appreciate you being here tonight.
All right, Kelly, thank you.